Today we're going to talk about parental involvement in English language learners. Let's think about your classroom. How many ESL students do you have? How many of their parents are actually being involved in their child's academic achievement? Parental involvement in his or her child's education is highly essential to the student's overall learning ability, and especially in elementary students, since most of the work and activities are designed to have a higher parental involvement. ESL students do not typically experience the same level of parental involvement as non-ESL students. Lack of parental involvement may lead to students' failure in certain areas of study. So, for an example, it may lead to misbehavior in the classroom, poor attendance, social anxiety, or even it will lead to the students to quit school. However, successful involvement from parents usually leads to a better future for the students, such as better school attendance, reduced dropout rates, and improved school achievements. There are many reasons for the lack of parental involvement. One of the main reasons is cultural effects. So let's just talk about culture for a minute. What is culture? What do you think it means? Can you define culture? Do you belong to a certain culture? What are the differences? Culture is all around us. It is defined as knowledge, skills, rules, norms, practices, traditions, self-definitions, institutions, languages, and values that a group of people believe and accept and are passed down from one generation to the next. Culture has a huge impact on our students and their parents. We may believe in different religions and belief systems, yet we are so similar. We are all governed by a set of rules, and we have to respect each other's no matter how different they are. For an example, you may look different, but we still believe in the same values. American culture is different from our parents, and they may have to face many different problems when they move to the United States. Our parents didn't grow up in the same time as our kids right now. They may have to face different problems, family problems, political problems, things that are different from the children that are growing up in the United States right now. When parents move from another country to the United States, they have to face many different difficulties, such as employment, language, expectations of the schools, and the cultural differences, and children's needs are some of the examples. Expectations of the schools are different because the beliefs and the standards regarding education might be different from what has been expected in the school systems in the United States. And even though immigrants are categorized as a one specific category, they are also still different from one another. Each culture is different. So two parents from two different immigrant families may have different expectations from their child as a student. When students move from another country to the United States, they tend to pick up on language and habits fairly faster than their parents. And usually the parents don't see this as a positive thing on their family. And then this causes problems between the families. And then usually it is hard for the parents to keep up with their children. And because of that, it leads to family problems, and instability leads to stress and inability to concentrate in the classroom. We talked about how immigrants can be different. So even if you're from the same part of the world, you could still be different. You could still have different values, and you could still have different belief system. You might be from one specific country, for example, you might be from China or Sri Lanka, but you could be a Buddhist or a Muslim or a Christian. And then the household that you grow up and it's different from one neighborhood to another. So you have different belief system in each culture itself. Two examples are Asian immigrants and Hispanic immigrants. So Asian immigrants, usually they are taught to be highly motivated, and they usually reaches for the best. And they always trying to do their hard, they always try to do their best, they always try to get the A, and they see a failure as a disappointment in their life. And they also have high hopes and expectations from their children. And then children's responsibility to make their parents happy and proud. And in Hispanic culture, Hispanics value their family. Family structure and gender roles are important. Education and language are essential as well. Usually in their families, they encourage children to speak Spanish because the parents are afraid of children losing their mother tongue. What are some other reasons why your parents are not involved in your child's academic achievement? Let's just look at your classroom for a minute. Let's think. There are many reasons for the lack of parental involvement. Underdeveloped language skills is one of them. What does that mean? If your parent is unaware of the importance of language or importance of education, then they're not motivated to teach their students or to motivate their students to do better in school. Also, there's a disparity between the parents' own experiences and the expectations of the school or their course. Parents' different beliefs regarding education, whether it is important or what are the priorities, makes a difference. If there's no structure at home, that also makes a difference. Focused on preserving the first language. Also, parents are reluctant to be involved because they feel as the teachers perceive them as having little understanding of their child's education, and because of that, the teachers believe they have a better understanding than the parent, so they make the decisions for the child. And because of this, the parents feel they do not have the ability to change the teacher's perception. Parents also may not have the time and the resources to help the students. If the parents are illiterate in their native language, which will cause a language gap between the student and their education. So what can we do? What can we do to help to have a better parental involvement in children's academic achievement? One way to help our parents is through a ESL-friendly website. Content of the website should be accessible for the parents. It should include important dates for the students' activities and tests. Another way to help is to find parents English classes for adults. This is mainly to help them with their English skills to communicate. And then home visits are another great idea. It is a way to build good communication that affects both home and school life. And then also getting feedback from the parents are also important for the child's future. Hopefully this presentation has helped you to gain a little bit more information regarding ESL students and their parental involvement. So let's just take a minute and discuss what we learned and what can we do in our classroom. How can we make a difference?